Hey guys, this is Kash and welcome to Kashorium. Today we are going to see about a story, The Emperor's New Clothes. Let's get into the story. In a faraway land, many years ago, there lived a wise old man. He had a flowing white beard and lived in a kingdom high up in the mountains. A kind and honest king ruled the kingdom. The king was very old, so whenever he had any problems in his kingdom, he would ask the wise old man to help him. The wise old man helped the king a lot. Together, they made sure that all the people in the kingdom were happy. One day, the old king fell ill and died. The wise old man and all the people in the kingdom were very sad. They loved the king very much. They were also worried, for they knew that the king's only son would now become their new king. No one in the kingdom liked the king's son because he was a very proud and selfish man. As soon as he became king, he said to his people, I am now the ruler of this kingdom. I am going to be a great ruler. So from today onwards, you call me Emperor. The new emperor was a very foolish and proud man. He loved to dress up and had a wardrobe that was bigger than the biggest room in the palace. He began spending all the kingdom's money on clothes. He hired the best tailors in the kingdom to stitch the finest clothes made of silk and cotton. Instead of taking care of his people, the emperor made them pay more taxes so that he could get more clothes. The wise old man was very sad to see the new emperor behave so badly. Very soon, the people in the kingdom began to suffer. Since they were paying very high taxes to the new emperor, they did not have enough money to buy food. Many of them fell ill. The wise old man saw what was going on and tried to talk to the emperor. But the emperor shouted at him and said, Shut up, old man! Don't tell me what to do! The wise old man knew that he had to put a stop to the emperor's foolishness. He decided to teach the proud emperor a lesson that he would never forget. The wise old man had two friends who were good actors. He asked them to help him teach the proud emperor a lesson. The actors disguised themselves as weavers and came to meet the emperor. They said to the emperor, "O great emperor, we are magical weavers. We can weave the finest cloth and stitch the finest cloth in the whole world. But most importantly, the magical clothes which we stitch will only be seen by the people who are not fools." The emperor shouted, "Oh, please, stitch me those magical clothes. I must find out who are the fools in my kingdom." So the next day, the magical weavers came to the palace with two big weaving looms. They set to the work, pretending to weave cloth. Putting imaginary threads on the looms, they began weaving an imaginary cloth. They worked late into the night, pretending to feel the cloth and admire its softness. After a few days, the proud emperor grew restless. He wanted to know how this magical material looked. Afraid that he might not see the material himself, he sent a very important minister to take a look at the magical weavers. When the minister went to see the magical weavers, he was shocked. He could see them working, but he could not see any cloth. He said to himself, "Oh no, am I a fool? Only a fool would not be able to see that magical cloth. I must not let anyone know that I did not see the cloth." The weaver said to the minister, "Please come near, sir. Can you see the design on the cloth? Isn't it beautiful?" The minister pretended to look at the imaginary cloth and said, Yes, it is indeed beautiful." When the minister returned, the emperor shouted out, "Did you see the magical cloth?" The minister smiled and said, "Of course I did see it, O emperor. The cloth is beautiful, the colors are beautiful." The emperor was very pleased. He said to himself, if my minister was able to see the magical cloth, then he is not a fool." One after the other, he sent all his ministers and courtiers to see the magical cloth. None of them could see the cloth. But all of them lied to the emperor, saying, "What a fine cloth! What beautiful colors! Such a soft material!" The emperor was very happy that all the people in his kingdom were not stupid fools. Soon everyone in the kingdom was talking about the emperor's new clothes. This made the emperor impatient. He asked the magical weavers if he could take a look at the magical cloth. The weavers said, "We need 2 more days, O emperor. We have finished weaving the cloth. Now we have to stitch your clothes. But before we go on, we like you to pay us 10,000 gold coins for our efforts." The emperor quickly gave them the gold. After 2 days, the emperor rushed to see the magical weavers. The weavers welcomed the emperor, saying, "Ah, welcome, O emperor. Your magical new clothes are ready." The emperor was shocked. He looked around the room but could not see any clothes. One of the weavers picked up an imaginary piece of cloth and said, "Do you like the design? I'm sure it will fit you." The emperor blinked his eyes and said to himself, "Oh no, I am not able to see the magical cloth. Am I a fool?" Not wanting to show that he was not able to see the cloth, the emperor said, "Oh, how wonderful these clothes look!" One of the weavers held up the imaginary piece of cloth, and the emperor pretended to reach out to touch it. He said, "You have stitched it so well. The cloth is so soft." Trying not to look worried, the emperor thought to himself, "If my people find out that I am not able to see the magical cloth, they will call me a stupid fool. They must not know." So when he returned to the palace court, the emperor pretended to look very happy. He said to his ministers, "I have seen the magical cloth. It is so beautiful, so soft. I will wear it in the palace tomorrow." The wise old man who was standing nearby said, "Oh emperor, why do you want to wear the magical clothes in palace? You should have a grand procession and show off your new clothes to your people. That way you will also find out if there are any stupid fools in your kingdom." The king knew that if he disagreed, the wise old man and the other ministers would suspect him. So he said, "Tomorrow I will march through the streets in my new magical clothes. Anyone who is not able to see my clothes will be called a stupid fool and banished from my kingdom." The next day, the weavers came into the emperor's room. They pretended to hold on to the imaginary clothes. The emperor took off all his clothes and pretended to put on the invisible clothes. Finally, he said, "You have stitched these clothes very well. It almost feels like I have nothing on." Wearing only his underwear, the emperor marched through the street looking very proud. The people who lined the street were shocked to see their emperor marching around in his underwear. But all of them had heard that if they could not see the magical garments, they would be banished from the kingdom. So all the people said, "Oh, what beautiful clothes! What lovely colors!" This made the king very happy. Then suddenly a little boy who was standing with his mother started laughing. He shouted out, "The emperor has no clothes on! The emperor has no clothes on!" The people were ashamed. They knew that a little child would not be able to lie. So as soon as the child shouted out, all the people began shouting, "The emperor has no clothes on! The emperor has no clothes on!" The emperor realized that he had been tricked. He quickly hid behind his soldiers and ran back into the palace. He had learned his lesson. From that day onwards, he stopped being a proud and a foolish man. He asked the wise old man to help him rule his kingdom better, and they all